Welcome to Dark Horizon Creations. I'm Mike, and today we're taking a look at the Mattel Total Armor Batman. Now, this is a deluxe 12-inch action figure with electronic lights and sounds. It's part of the Batman Missions line by Mattel, and retails here in the U.S. for right at $20. It's a really nice action figure. I recently purchased this at an area Walmart, and in all honesty, I had no intention of buying this figure. I saw it a few times and passed it by. I thought it looked really nice, but I was, sort of iffy about buying a 12-inch action figure. They're sometimes ridiculed by collectors and called shampoo bottle figures. And I've never owned any of these figures from either the DC or Marvel universe. So I went online and did some additional research on the figure and looked at some higher resolution images of it outside of the packaging, and I decided to purchase it, and I'm really glad that I did. I think if you're a fan of Batman and you collect any of the toys or memorabilia, that this would make a great addition to your collection. So to begin with, I want to talk a little bit about the packaging. Mattel has chosen a really nice window display box for this figure, and I'm glad that they did. This is just such phenomenal packaging. I love it when a toy is packaged properly, in that it allows the collector to really just gravitate toward the toy, because it just catches your attention. It shows all of the features of the toy, and you're not left with any questions or wondering about different features. There it is right there. And that's the sort of impression you get when you see this figure on the shelf. Of course, you see the figure on the right in the display packaging. It has a try me feature where if you depress the buckle on the bat belt, you can hear some of the phrases as well as the light up features and sound effects, and I'll show you that right now.
This looks like the work of the Joker.
And there's a different sound effect or gimmick with each of the phrases, and usually they revolve around one of Batman's enemies. On the left-hand side, you see the snap-on armor segments. Now, just looking at it in the box, this is really reminiscent of the Mattel Halo 6-inch line of action figures. When Mattel acquired the master product license for Halo, they decided to release a new line of 6-inch action figures for Halo, and one of the things that they incorporated were snap-on armor segments for the Spartans as well as the Covenant figures and what have you. And a lot of the fans disapproved of that. They claimed that the armor segments didn't fit properly or what have you. I never had that issue with any of them, and I was one of the first people on YouTube to review those figures for Mattel. And I found that they all snapped on properly. They worked really well, and they really added a depth of realism to the figure that the McFarlane figures did not have. And I see the same thing here with this Batman action figure. This particular armor is sort of a callback to the armor used by Batman in Batman vs. Superman, yet it's also distinct at the same time, and it just adds a completely different level of realism to the figure, and you'll see that once it's outside of the packaging and the armor is snapped into place. The last thing I want to point out about the packaging is the bat symbol in the lower left hand corner, the Batman logo. This is really, really awesome. I'm very happy that they decided to incorporate this particular Batman symbol on the packaging, even though it's distinct from the one on his armor. It's a callback to the 1989 Tim Burton Batman film, and I always liked that movie, and I like the bat symbol as well, so I'm really glad that they decided to incorporate that here. On the sides and the back of the packaging, you have your obligatory product shots. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to pause the video, I'm going to remove the figure from the packaging, and we'll come back and see what it's all about. Stay tuned. So we're back with the Total Armor Batman action figure, and as you can see, the figure is fully displayed here, and it's really, really nice looking figure. Before we get into that, I want to show you what's inside the packaging in addition to the figure and the armor, which is the instruction sheet, and it's very basic, simplified instructions. On the inside, it shows you how to attach the different armor segments and the light and sound features by depressing the buckle on the bat belt. And on the back, it shows you how to change the batteries in the battery compartment underneath the cape. And it requires 3 of those button cell watch batteries. And that's all there is to the instructions. The figure's really nice. I really like the way the action figure looks. There's a lot of nice detailing molded into the figure itself. I like the armor. If you guys are into customizing your toys as I am, you could use a really nice wash on this figure and it would tone down the shiny plastic and make this figure look a lot more menacing. As far as articulation is concerned, the head swivels left to right. Shoulder will move forward and laterally. Double jointed elbow, wrist swivel, move forward and laterally there at the hip and bend at the knee. And that's pretty much it. And as you can see on the back, the cape is mounted a little bit lower on his shoulder blades instead of up here at the top. And it extends to around his calf. And that's a pretty nice length for his cape. I think this probably would work better in real life for Batman, as it wouldn't drag the ground, as I've seen some iterations of his cape. And this particular material is like a velvet material. And it's really, really nice. Underneath the cape, you see the speaker, and you see the battery compartment here. And it requires one of those small Phillips head precision screwdrivers to open it. One thing I will say about this action figure, the sound effects are really loud.
You're going back to Arkham Asylum, Scarecrow.
You have no problem hearing the sound effects on this figure. And by himself, he is, posable and very stable as compared to some of the other figures that do not have the same level of articulation that this one does. Now for the armor segments. The leg armor snaps on like this. And again, if you own any of those Halo figures, you know what I'm talking about when I made that reference to those.
This ends now, Bane.
Thigh armor is not
This
as...
city is under my protection.
The thigh armor is not as secure as I would like it to be. And again, if you customize toys, this presents an awesome opportunity to customize the armor segments. They have a lot of nice panel lines in them where a nice wash would work. For his chest armor, what you want to do is turn the figure around. And when you go to put it on, you want to make sure that these 2 pegs go into these 2 holes right here. And it comes down over his chest like that. And then the helmet is just a face plate, really. It just snaps on to his face. And that's what Batman looks like armored up. And
Time for a smoke grenade.
it's a really nice action figure. I do like the way that the armor looks. I don't like the shoulder armor as much because it has a tendency to not stay on. But it's still a really decent looking action figure. And it looks well when it's displayed by itself or with other figures. For comparison, this is the True Moves Batgirl action figure. And I think she's probably scaled accurately to Batman. So ladies and gentlemen, there you have the Mattel Total Armor Batman 12-inch action figure. This is again in the Batman Missions line, And if you guys don't have this in your collection, I'd recommend picking it up. And again, it retails here in the U.S. for right at $20. Thank you guys for watching the review. I hope you've enjoyed it. If you haven't subscribed to my YouTube channel, please do so. Also, check out my Facebook page, Dark Horizon Creations, where I display all of the custom toys that I work on. I also offer toys on commission. If you're interested in having me complete a project for you, you could message me directly through the Facebook page or email me at darkhorizoncreations@gmail.com. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned. There's more to come.